It's time for the Jim and Terry Show.
It's now expediting all our calls because they want us to use this software. Maybe it's money because you and I use their services and somebody must be paying for it. But it's working.
It is working. It almost didn't let me in this time, though. I kept
Maybe
hitting
it's just a little
in
too
the
quick.
answer, and it wouldn't come. So,
Maybe that's your phone.
if anything, it is my phone. My phone wants a divorce, and I won't give it.
You and your technology, you're married to your tech.
Yeah. Well, I look at my phone an awful lot now. I mean, it's right here. I'm looking for part of the whole phone thing. Hi, everybody. This happens to be the Jim and Terry Show. I'm Jim from Pefferlaw.
And I'm Terry from Bob Cajun, and Jim's going to tell us his tale of woe.
I forgot what it is.
That, my friend, is a sign of the times. The technology that brings you such consternation most of the time is working very well this morning.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Thanks for bringing me back. Is lots of times my phone is with me a lot. But, I don't get too upset about, when they tell you you've been on it for 5 hours or something through this day or whether, because it's like a TV to me now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If I can't find something on TV, then I'm watching my phone like a TV. And part of the reason I have it, all the potential breakthroughs in the world or what's going on, and we talked about them achieving fusion energy, that not energy, but fusion. And that's an unbelievable, wonderful energy breakthrough. How long it's going to take to develop, I don't know. But that SpaceX, when are you going to launch the bloody thing? And then you got Orion coming back. And then you got the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup. I missed yesterday's game. I didn't get to see it.
It was an exciting game. If I can diverge just for a minute, that was a wonderful game. And it sets up the final with Argentina.
And I know my honey pie will be interested in that.
So are you going to watch the game?
Well, I don't know if I can. It's Sunday.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was, but I guess, okay, Sunday.
I think it's Sunday morning.
Okay.
I'm not going to skip church for the game, so maybe I'll get back in time to see the end of it.
You can always watch it on your personal video recorder.
I guess I could do that too. But there's that. Okay, and I've been tricked a couple of times thinking I'm actually watching a game. Bobby and me both simultaneously through an entire game. I can't remember which teams they were. I think it might have been Croatia or something. We're rooting for the wrong team. It wasn't until they took penalty shots, and we're both in two different locations. But he called me and said, I can't believe what I just did. And I said, I know exactly what you just did because I did too. It wasn't until the penalty shot went in we went, oh, crap, I'm rooting for the wrong team. Unbelievable. And then the other day I was watching Argentina and the Netherlands thinking it was the game.
The final.
It was the semifinal, but it wasn't. It was last Friday's game. And I watched it and I poked through it and I looked at it and went through the penalty shots and Argentina won. I said, well, and I missed half that game because it wasn't going to be until the afternoon, I thought. So I saw half of that game and I went, oh, okay, so now I know who won. I went out among my day. Then I'm sitting here and I go, what's on TV? What, this game? Argentina and Croatia. What? That was the game, and I missed half of it.
Wow.
So I got messed up. I wish they had, like hockey, you had your name of your nation right across, USSR or Canada or Slovakia or something across your chest. But soccer is these little emblems, right?
And you can't even tell what they are.
Yeah, you can't even tell what. And every now and then they just change uniforms, like Canada in black. What's with black?
Yes.
Just one. They're out there and they're in black.
Well, it depends. Everybody's got to have a home color and an away color.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, have you been enjoying FIFA?
Oh yeah. But that's one of the reasons why you're kind of stuck to your phone and everything else. You got something else to do, so you're checking on the score and everything. I enjoy the world soccer. I think it's phenomenal. I really get into it.
One of the most moving things for me is this is bizarre, watching a team lose and what emotions are there.
Oh yeah.
It's so I'm thinking when you're like number 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever in the world, is there? I mean, do you have to? Is it devastating? I guess it is.
Well, for some, it's devastating. Which, I mean, I guess it's age. I sit down and go, "What's in it for me? Nothing." You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
if the Leafs win or lose, I rooted for Canada. But oh well, that's the way it goes. But I guess if you're the best in the world, and maybe some of the more oppressed nations too, that's all you got.
Yes.
This is a victory. We need this bloody victory. We are better people. We might have been taken over by the Soviet Union, but we're better. We're better than them. They're just bigger. And so I guess it's really gets down to that. But you see some of the people in the audience, even people who are seeing their team win, are bawling their eyes out as it's getting close. Oh, God, we did it. Well, in reality, buddy, you did absolutely nothing in order to enhance this win, other than maybe your positive energy or your hope.
But isn't it fascinating as a TV audience to watch the stands and the crowds in the stand? Face painted, with wigs on, colors on, costumes on, flags on, trumpets, drums. I couldn't imagine the noise in the stadium.
No, I couldn't imagine that either. And the thing that's such an oxymoron about all sports is, you dress up like that, and you're really into it, and everybody's into it like a party, drinking, having a blast, having a great time. But if you lose, you got that clown with the red hair and everything crying his eyes, oh God, like the end of the world. It's kind of a real oxymoron when you stop and think about it. 1 second it's a great party, and then I always feel bad for the fans and the team that loses.
Yes.
I always feel bad for them. No, their hearts are broken. Look at them. They're devastated.
Okay,
and
speaking of hearts broken.
Cheering away.
Speaking of hearts broken, how would you like to lose by shootout?
I can't stand the shootout. I wish it was like hockey. You play until you drop.
And maybe with a reduced field, like play 10 players, then play 9 players, then play 8 players.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't stand the shootout. I think because part of it is just bad luck.
Yeah.
Part of it is bad luck. I mean, sometimes the goalie can make a
lucky guess.
A lucky decision, and they make the lucky, and it's right, and they throw themselves in front of a ball. Sometimes the guy doing the shot misses that corner, and it misses the net, and it's devastating for them. I don't like it at all.
No.
I wish there was no penalty shots. I wish at least in the overtime that there would be stopping of the clock.
You wish there were no penalty shots.
What's that?
Did you say penalty shots, or you meant
No,
the
I meant
shootouts?
at the
Oh,
end.
the shootout.
Penalty shot, I would move back to that other line. I think that's a bit of a holy moly. You got the scraping net to shoot at. Again, it doesn't seem like a fair contest to me. But on the other hand, then don't screw up in your own end.
Yeah.
Don't screw
very
up
good.
defensively. That's the price you pay, I guess.
Yeah. I've been enjoying FIFA because it's come through exam week. I've been here with my daughter a lot. And when my wife is able to join us when she's not working, then that makes a family outing on the couch.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a couple of the games, which is great. John has invited me up to watch it with him and Noah, my grandson.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've enjoyed that immensely. Sunday, they'll be all watching it. I guess I'll miss it, unfortunately. But I'm not going to, never mind. It doesn't matter. It's just the way life is. Everybody thinks that Sunday is the perfect day to have everything. It used to be Saturday,
Yes, and that
But people
takes
are
us.
busy on Saturday. They got nothing to do on Sunday.
Well, it comes from a day and a stage when, this can get political if you want, but it's the influence of religious belief on society, and has society moved past the influence of the religious belief?
Absolutely.
If you're not a Christian, what's the point of the sacredness of a Sunday?
That's right.
So,
That's right.
anyway, let's get on to some other things. I sent you a whole bunch of stuff, and one of them I just wanted to go through about cherry-picking data, just because it was interesting. I love data. I love science.
Yeah.
I love just finding out why people believe what they believe and what evidence they use to support that belief. And if the evidence shows it, then, then I have to stare at it and say, well, that makes sense. If it doesn't, then I have to say, well, that doesn't make sense. So I like this one about cardiac emergency department presentations versus cardiac emergency department admissions for ages 15 to 44. And this was done by a couple of people that I get information regarding the current state of the health crisis in Canada and around the world in other countries, just to see how things are going. And I watched this clip of a senator, I believe he's a senator, I think his name is Antique, it's pronounced Antique, A-N-T-I-C, from South Wales, Australia.
Yeah, I watched
and he got up and made that presentation and used this same chart that I'm staring at and made a claim about what that chart was showing in terms of data, and it wasn't showing what he said it was showing, and that always gets my curiosity going.
Yeah, I watched it, and I love our wonderful scientist woman there. Her explanations, calm, always cool and collective, but she really ousts people who are playing the political game, and I was trying to explain this to my son Jeremy yesterday, how much it appalls me that people will put people's lives in danger for their own political gain, like DeSantis down in Florida. They don't care how many people die as long as they just get elevated to where they want to go. I really have zero respect for that. And this Australian guy was the same thing, taking half truths, part truths, and compiling falsehood, absolutely a falsehood, and he's catering to the right wing of those who don't want COVID to exist. They just wish they could will it away or something, and so, like DeSantis, this Australian fella is fudging the numbers there in order to just get followers, and I have no respect whatsoever.
Yeah, it kind of got me.
Truth. That's the thing; they know the truth.
Well, they do, and for me, it's always a question of what's the data show, and to be able to go through it and have excellent science communicators, people who are scientists, but they're good at communicating, as opposed to scientists who are very poor at communicating. And I'll give you an example. My daughter has a professor who might as well be Ferris Bueller's Day Off teacher. Anybody. And that puts everybody to sleep. He's not effective. He may be an expert in his area of study, but he's not a communicator. And in education, you must be an effective communicator. And I'm thinking that somehow people think that communicating is not a skill. It is. I think that the Dr. Susan Oliver and the
and her dog,
that's effective communication. But I would have also said that about Dr. John Campbell when I first encountered him. It was 2019, 2020, and he seemed like, wow, this is a nice presentation. And then you go and find out the data and how he is, again, cherry picking and selecting and misrepresenting data. And again, you and I are not scientists. We rely on the experts. Unless you don't. And there are a group of people, and they usually wear the red hats with the white letters in the United States. Sometimes they live in Alberta, and they're United Conservative Party types who claim that they can do their own research. And I heard that from my QAnon family member. Do your own research. Well, I do. And this same sibling is one who, this is an anniversary of Sandy Hook. And so this is 10 years in the making, 2012 to 2022, and nothing has changed. There have been 25,000 children killed through gun violence since Sandy Hook in America.
Wow.
So the data matters, and you can't hide behind, there's that trend in Canada everybody's on Trudeau's case because he's going after the hunting rifles. No, he's not. Please get it right. He's trying to remove weapons that are repeated and not used for hunting. They're used to kill people. That's all we're trying to do. Restrict access to firearms that are used. If you're hunting geese with an automatic repeating multi-round instrument of death, then there's something wrong with you. If you need to have that kind of weapon in your arsenal because you're afraid of deer on your property, there's something wrong with you. So I have problems with all of this stuff. Data matters, science matters, misrepresenting things matters, and Canada doesn't seem to be any better off than the United States, and I find myself becoming less and less flag waving because we got our own issues. Remember that song, "You've got your struggles, I've got mine."
Yeah. Well, what can I tell you? This is
Yeah.
the way the world's going. Everything's being divided. Everybody's being divided up. It's like my son was saying, that you can't just be left. It's extreme left. You can't just be right. You're extreme right. So we've been divided.
Yeah, but you can be left or right.
Well,
you
you
don't
can,
need to
but
be extreme.
But everything seems to be getting labeled to be the extreme. And if you listen to the other side, uh, they have some of their arguments as well. I know I was talking to Jeremy about their right-wing conservative leader down there, and she said, "Look, I was a television host. I had to buy into certain things as a television host. I don't have to buy into those things. I don't want to separate from Canada. I just want us to be able to determine, as Federation said, our own resources to determine how we're going to distribute them and the rest of it." And to him, it makes a lot of sense. We all seem to be gravitating to the absolute extreme of what we're thinking they're thinking, or anyways, I don't even know where I'm going with it. It just seems to be exhausting. Everything. You
Well, it
either
is.
like the space program or you don't like the space program, and you got to defend it. Well, look at all the good things that happen out of the space program. Well, look at all the people starving in the world, and oh God, we go to the extremes, both sides.
Yeah.
I just like it. I'm glad someone else is paying for it. How's that?
Yeah, I like that too. Someone else is paying for it. Well, you and I are curious, and that curiosity does a lot. It keeps our minds active and inquiring, and an inquiring mind is a healthy mind, in my opinion. It's when you stop asking questions or you're content with the answers, then I think that's a problem. But, asking the questions, nothing wrong with that. Anyway, data picking, cherry picking, and choosing what you're saying. I think the old adage, by their fruit you will know them, is something that we need to look at. So if a senator is saying, and you can play the tapes, you got the tapes on all these people, or in the case of Mark Meadows, you've got 2,319 text messages from 34 different Republican senators and Congress people. That, to me, is condemning, and you can't change it and hide.
They're trying to overthrow the American government. Now, either they're just immature little rebels, or they're an evil bunch of people.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And some of it may be the excitement of being a rebel, but jeepers, keep that back to when you were an early teenager, not that you're now growing up and you're a part of the government. Get out of there.
Yeah.
And I know Trump did something today too. They said it was a new low he did yesterday. I don't know what it is. I wish I could have honed in on it, but it is in response to DeSantis. You see, both of them now are going after the right, the extreme right, I guess, if you would like, and they'll do anything to get them, and they'll sell their country right down the toilet. They will for this power grab. It's amazing to see. It's disturbing to see, but look what's going to happen. It's not going to be good.
And that's 2024 is coming up, and that's their big presidential year.
Yeah. Well, now, my feelings. Trump's going to flee the nation, or try to flee the nation.
Yes. Well, I think you won the wager that we had. You said Trump would run in 2024, and I said he would not run in 2024. Yeah. I'm still hoping that justice, the long arm of the law, will grab him by the scruff of the neck and haul him into an indictment.
It is a long arm. I'm telling you, it really is. There's never been an arm longer than that arm that's out to reach for me. And
Oh,
it's a
you're
tug.
getting good at
It's
this.
just it's
You're
terrible.
getting good at this, my friend. Yeah.
Nobody
That
has
takes
had
us
an
back
arm
to
that
the.
long reach for them ever in the world. I'm the only one.
It takes me back to by their words you shall judge them, and I'm thinking the roll tape. When you roll tape on Trump, he's sunk himself so many times. I still don't understand how he's not locked up somewhere. We have this ability, and you have it on your phone, and I use my phone for news services more and more. So when I'm sitting there, it's like reading a book, and I'm going through international events, national events, local events. I'm going through science, the latest science, all this stuff, music. It's all there on your phone. So I get that you and I are sitting there. I prefer the feel of a big paper, of a magazine,
Yeah.
print. However, the phone is replacing some of that. And sometimes the immediacy of the phone and access to it maybe is not a good thing because the stories get out too quickly before they've had a chance to really be examined. So breaking news may not be good in that sense. It's too quick, not enough vetting.
Well, good point. Yeah, and I think that's a big part of the problem we have, because as you and I maybe have what we're looking at on the phone, others do the same thing, and then it breaks through. Some information comes through, and they grab it, just grab that right away without checking it. People just really don't have the time or the desire to check anything.
Yeah.
So it's like that Australian guy fudging the numbers, in order to make this presentation in the parliament down in Australia, when he was lying about the data in reality. If he had really understood it, and if he had really been concerned like he pretended he was, he knows he was speaking half truth.
Well,
Half truth
I
is a lie.
think yeah, he wasn't speaking the whole truth, is
Yeah,
maybe the most accurate way to say it.
yeah,
It's like you telling your kids, Santa is as real as I am.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not the whole truth, but it's enough if you want to come away with a clean conscience.
yeah,
So this politician did the same thing. He just, and I call it cherry picking or selecting the data. He selected stuff that was true. That sheet was a real graph. It had real numbers and was really the statistics provided by the health services for his area. It was real, but he didn't tell you the whole context, and that's where you need to know the whole story. Santa Claus is a myth made up, and I bought into it, and I'm spreading it with a clear conscience. Yeah, I don't have a clear conscience anymore, although I do celebrate
I
my.
knew about that, but on the other hand, I know some of my children told their never let their children believe Santa Claus was real ever.
Yeah. Well,
Not all
yeah.
of them, not all of them. Some
Yeah,
of them.
so where do we go? We have to do the best we can as the parents we are, and when we know more, we'll do better.
Yeah, I don't think I think it's wrong to live in a paranoia, and it's
Yes.
wrong to condemn yourself or beat yourself up for wrongs done in the past. There's a saying that probably is the hardest one for me to uh, to grasp, but I think it's true. You know, God forgives, you forgive. Why is it so hard for you to forgive yourself? For wrongs that have been done. You know what I mean?
Because we carry it in here
I
with us
know, I
all the
know.
time. And if it's somebody else, we can forgive somebody else because we don't get to see them all the time. We're not
Yeah, yeah.
exposed to their thought processes all the time, but we carry ourselves in our little melons all the time. 24/7 Jim or Terry, not maybe the best thing to have rolling around inside your head.
Yeah, I look in the mirror and it's like, you again? You again?
I think you have to make up a film, maybe with the little one on one side and the little Jim on the other side, and you have this dialogue. That would be fun to do.
Yeah, it would be funny just to step back and say to the two on your shoulder, "You fight it
I want nothing to do with
out."
this.
I'm
Yeah,
on my way
isn't
to the bar.
isn't that funny?
You fight it out.
All right, my friend. Any last words from you?
No,
You're
no.
all you're
Well,
talked
Merry
out.
Christmas. Are we done?
I think we're done.
All right, we probably have a show before next Christmas anyway. This Christmas, anyways, don't we?
When is Christmas? This is the 19th. Is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, we'll have Thursday next Thursday. There you go.
There you go. But Merry Christmas in case we forget.
You won't forget. You'll get a text message from me.
Okay.
I'll be catching up on the snooze with you.
Okay.
All right,
Good.
take care. The Jim and Terry Show signing out for this week. I'm Terry.
I'm Jim.
Jim's
Bye-bye.
not in the seat in front of me. He's virtually here.
Yes.
Some would say that means Jim is not really here
I'm
or there.
just on the outskirts of the downtown hub of Pefferlaw.
Oh
I
my
can walk
God.
to the downtown excitement of Pefferlaw. We got a new restaurant, by the way, just coming in, opening today.
Oh, congratulations. Are you going to visit it?
If someone gives me a call and says you want to go for breakfast or something, I will. Yeah, I'm going to visit it for sure. But there's a wonderful couple in Pefferlaw that asked if they could use the church. It's not part of the church. And they're providing this Saturday a pancake breakfast for the community.
What?
Yep, they
Not
just say,
associated with your church, but asking to use your facilities for
Yeah.
charitable work.
well, more of a thank you to the community. I don't know who they're thanking. I know Grant knows them. I think he worked with them or something happened, but I don't believe they attend church. But they just asked the church. The board said, yeah, sure, why not? So I'll be going there for breakfast and seeing what's happening.
And look at you cashing in on all these free meals.
Well, what can you say?
Happy pancake breakfast for you if you ever get around to it. All right, Jim and Terry Show signing out for this week. Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.